Hey, it's Chris and welcome to another one of our lessons in our series on yoga for resilience. Today we're going to look at mindfulness or open monitoring meditation, and we're going to develop this over a series of lessons, but this is the first one where we're going to introduce it. So if you already have a regular mindfulness practice, this will be very basic for you. But for those of you new to it, we'll really introduce the key concepts, and for all of us, really going back to basics can be really useful sometimes because it's fun to kind of get onto the new, more exciting things. But all practice is good practice. Even if you're a super fast runner, some easy runs will be really good for you. And in the same way, even if you have an existing practice, it's good to recover the basics. Or if you're new to us, you're just joining us for the Yoga for Resilience program, and welcome, great to have you here. We'll go through everything here. So the first thing that you want to do is find somewhere comfortable to sit. I'm going to sit cross-legged. You could prop something up under your bottom. You could sit on a chair, hopefully with a firm back so you can be alert and awake. You could lie down on a hard floor. Wouldn't recommend a bed or a comfy chair because it's very easy to go to sleep, and we don't want to be doing any of that. We want to be staying focused, but just take a moment to find somewhere that you're going to be comfortable for 10-15 minutes. So if you need to pause the video now and go away and find something, totally fine, do that. And if you're ready to go, then we'll start the practice. So you can sit comfortably however you want, and we're just going to bring some attention to the breath. We're not doing any kind of special breathing here, we're just noticing what's already going on. And if you like, you can gently close the eyes. And the idea with mindfulness, which if you're coming from a meditation background is kind of an open monitoring style, or if you're new to it, we're not going to focus on anything like we might do with say like a mantra meditation. We're just going to leave our mind open, not really focusing on anything, maybe bringing some focus to the breath, but really just seeing what arises in our mind. And when it does arise, we're just going to notice it, but we're not going to get sucked in. So we might be sitting here and suddenly we're thinking about what we're going to have for dinner today, or a work deadline or something like that, and it's very easy to get sucked in and follow that thought. But here we're just going to notice it and then let it go, let it fade away, and continue to focus on the exercise. You can use the breath as a source of focus if you want, or just leave your mind completely open. And if you do find that you get distracted, totally fine. In fact, you're going to get distracted. That's how human minds work. They get distracted. They have random thoughts popping into them. And that's okay. Just notice that you've been distracted. Let the thought go and guide your mind back to the exercise. If you're new to mindfulness, you might be surprised just how difficult it can be to just sit with your own thoughts. And that's okay. takes practice. If you're brand new to it, it's not a skill we're going to develop, and it's not overnight, and it's not something that most of us just have instantly. Most of us are constantly worrying about the future, following our own thoughts, and then mindfulness comes along and said, just let it all go. It's not an easy task to do. It's also not relaxing for most people. It's often sold as a relaxation exercise, but it's not. It's more like exercise. Exercise is hard when you're doing it. You do it so you get a better level of fitness after you've done it. If you keep going doing the hard exercises, your fitness gets better. And mindfulness is the same. It's often hard to do a mindfulness practice because you've constantly got these thoughts jumping out at you. But by practicing, we learn that we don't need to constantly follow them, that we can just let them go, let them wash over us. And therefore we're less caught up in the past or caught up in worrying about the future in our everyday lives. Doesn't matter how many times you get distracted, you're going to get distracted. It's okay, just guide your mind back to the exercise. And when thoughts do come, just let them wash over you, let them pass through. You don't need to force them out. Sometimes use the analogy of you're standing on a bridge over a river looking down at the water, and it's beautiful water. You're just enjoying being there, just seeing the clear, unblemished water. And then occasionally a leaf floats down the river, just like thoughts sometimes come into our minds. And you could jump in and try and pull the leaf out, but then you'd be all wet. You could constantly stare at the leaf and be annoyed. Or you can just let the leaf pass. And eventually, pretty quickly, it will float on down the stream, and you'll have your perfect scenic view again. And thoughts are the same. We can jump into the thought and let it soak us, or we can just let the thought come and go as it pleases without giving it any attention. And the relevance to resilience here is that we often, maybe we've quote unquote failed in the past, something didn't work out, and we're constantly letting that affect our future because we're constantly thinking about it. Or maybe we've got something we're worrying about in the future and there's nothing we can do about it, but the thought keeps nagging us. Well, it's very easy to dwell on our past failures, or to go into that problem solving mode of, okay, I have a worry, so I need to spend some time working out what to do about this. But a lot of these times these problems can't be solved, and so the only thing to do is to take a step back and let them float on by. Coming towards the end of this lesson, so gently blink the eyes open if you've had them closed. Take a moment to ground yourself, to remember where you are, feel the ground beneath you. Maybe have a little shake, a little stretch out as we end this lesson.